굿모닝 시카고 함께하고 계십니다. 오늘 굿모닝 시카고 초대석 이 시간에는 연방구지구 하원 의원 후보로 출마하신 공화당의 살기스 상거리 씨께서 함께하셨습니다. Hello, welcome to my show.
안녕하세요. How are you?
Hi.
Much appreciated. Thank you for having me here today.
Would you introduce yourself to our audience and also, like greetings, please?
Yes, my name's Lieutenant Colonel Sargis Singir, retired. I am currently running for the 9th Congressional District as a Republican for the U.S. Congress. I have been a 20-year veteran of the United States Army Infantry and Special Operational Forces. My wife, Helen, and I live in Skokie, Illinois. We have 4 beautiful children, 2 boys, 2 girls, who attend the public schools in the area. I retired in 2014 from the U.S. Army, and I established the Near East Center for Strategic Engagement, which is a policy think tank, which is also operational, that specifically looks at the issues of national security policy for the U.S. In 2014, I established that company on September 11th in memory of the 3,000 Americans who were murdered in the terror attacks of 2001. Since then, we have been supporting the Assyrian Christians that were going through the genocides in Iraq and Syria at the hands of ISIS. So we've had a lot of opportunities to work with the previous administration and the current administration on the issues tied really to the Assyrian Christians. So that's where we are currently, and I decided this year to run for Congress to try to get a voice for our community within the larger context of the U.S. systems.
일단 본인에 대한 소개와 아울러서 인사를 좀 부탁을 드렸습니다. 아주 소개를 굉장히 잘해 주셨는데요. 먼저 본인은 이제 은퇴하셨습니다. 그러니까 이제 중령 제대하신 살기스 상가리 씨고요. 지금 연방 구지구 연방 하원 의원에 도전을 하시는 분이십니다. 20년 동안 군 복무를 하셨고요. 미군 특수부대에서 군 복무하신 이제 예비군이죠. 베테랑이시고, 그 다음에 이제 스코키 지역에서 지금 살고 계시고, 4명의 아이들, 2명의 아들과 2명의 딸, 이렇게 4명의 아이들과 함께 지금 스코키 지역에 살고 계시고, 아이들은 지금 공립학교에 다니고 있다고 합니다. 2014년 미군의 만기 제대 하신 거죠. 그러니까 명예 제대를 하셨고요. 지금 현재는 이 정치 띵크탱크에 대한 이제 회사를 가지고 계시면서 이 미국의 안보와 관련된 일을 하고 계시다고 합니다. 이거는 이제 9.11 테러 이후에 이걸 기념해서 이 회사를 만드셨고요. 특별히 이 아시리안 기독교인들을 서포트하는 일을 많이 하고 계신다고 해요. 특별히 그 IS로부터 이 아시리안 기독교인들을 후원하고 보호하는 일에 지금 굉장히 많은 일들을 하고 계신다라고 이렇게 말씀을 해 주셨습니다. So you're in U.S. Army for 20 years.
Yes, 20 years. I was spent 6 years of continuous time in combat area of operation. And that was specifically in Iraq. I took a team, as we call it, to support siege sort of special operational forces structures in Iraq from 08, I should say 06 and 07. 08 and 09, I went there and supported the commissional forces, the divisions that the U.S. Army has for their operations. And then I also was the director of host nation affairs in Kuwait, which is an diplomatic assignment, working to ensure that the defense cooperation agreement between the government of Kuwait and the United States is met in accordance to its standards and requirements.
So have you ever been in Korea?
I had been in Korea. That was my first deployment, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
okay.
It was. And I have to tell you, it's very cold in Korea during the winter time. So,
right?
Yes, especially for the soldiers. So,
oh, I see. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So, but that was my first assignment was Korea. That was a year spent there with the 506th Air Assault Infantry at that time out of Camp Greaves, Korea. So we were on the other side of the Imjim River. And after my time there, when we started with the Near East Center for Strategic Engagement, one of the things that we did was support what is called a Ramus Challenge that trains explosive ordnance and special weapon action teams. And one of the main groups that has been very helpful to us, and we worked and supported them, has been really the Ravens Task Force. Ravens Task Force is a Korean-owned business, actually, that is currently in Korea training the security forces for the Olympics. So I was a guest speaker at the first inaugural that took place between the U.S. and Korean investigation seminar that took place in Tacoma, Washington. So I always had that tie with Korea specifically. And even when I was in the Command Staff General College, the soldier who came from Korea to learn and graduate from the Command Staff General College was actually a Korean officer, and I was his sponsor when he came here. So we've always had ties with the Korean Peninsula and the Korean people.
So you have knowledge and you have experience about like Korean Americans plus Koreans.
Yes, I have a lot of extensive knowledge about it. One of the most recent operational trips that we did was I went to Thailand. We were looking at what is happening with China's expansion in the region, the Rohingya persecution and genocide that's taking place out of Burma, and we were able to tie it to China's need to expand their oil and gas pipelines through Burma, which is causing a lot of the persecutions that are taking place there. And because of that, one of the major pieces that we've looked at from the national security strategy is the over the next decade, whether popular or not, whether North Korea and South Korea want it or not, there's going to be a push for unification of the peninsula because we cannot take significant national security strategic steps in the region to counter China's expansion based on their plan if we do not ensure that there's a unification that takes place in the Korean Peninsula. So that's one of the things that I'm aware of, and as I run for Congress, I think it serves the Korean Americans a lot to have an individual with that type of a background that has that type of a focus that is 10 years down the line as to where are we going to be with the Korean Americans here and how they can help support this unification process that if it goes correctly, smoothly, which usually it doesn't, it will allow Korea to be one of the strongest economies in Asia over the next 50 to 75 years.
자, 지금 굉장히 많은 말씀을 해주셨어요. 일단은 그 20년 동안 군복무하신 것에 대해서 여쭤봤는데요. 일단 6년을 전투 지역에서 지내셨다고 합니다. 그러니까 이라크에서 A팀 그 특수부대 쪽에서 2006년부터 2007년까지 있으셨고 2008년부터 2009년까지는 이제 커미셔너 폴스로 해서 또 이제 계속해서 파견 근무를 하셨는데 또 이제 쿠웨이트에서는요 이 외교적인 역할을 이제 정부 간에 쿠웨이트 정부와 미국 정부가 중간에서 이 외교적인 역할을 담당해 주셨다고 이야기를 해주셨고요. 한국에 가보신 적이 있냐고 말씀드렸는데 첫 번째 어사이먼트, 그러니까 군인이 되고 나서 첫 번째 어사이먼트가 한국이었답니다. 그래서 이제 임진각 쪽에서 계셨고 뭐 여러 가지 일들을 많이 하신 것 같아요. 보니까 한국에서 그 경험을 가지고 뭐 강의도 많이 하시고 교육도 많이 하시고. 특별히 이제 뭐 사관학교라든지 이런 이제 장교들에게도 많은 도움을 주시고 했는데 이런 지식과 경험이 이제 한국에 대한 것이 있기 때문에 낯설지 않다. 이제 이렇게 제가 않지 않을까라고 여쭤봤는데, 당연히 낯설지가 않고 잘 알고 있다라고 이야기하셨어요. 특별히 한국뿐만 아니라 이 동남아시아에 대한 한국을 포함한 동남아시아에 대한 이해가 많이 있어서 뭐 지난번에 타이를 방문했을 때 그 알고 계신 로힝야족에 대한 거 이런 것들도 보고 들었고 그다음에 이 송유관 문제로 해서 이 버마에서 얼마나 많은 사람들이 희생이 되고 있는지 뭐 이런 것들 그래서 우리가 국가 안보를 위해서 정말 다음 수십 년간 생각해야 될 많은 것들에 대해서 생각을 하고 있고 그렇기 때문에 본인이 이제 이렇게 연방 하원의원에 도전하신다고 말씀을 하셨고요. 특별히 남북한 통일에 대한 것도 굉장히 관심이 많으세요. 본인 생각에는 통일은 반드시 이루어진다 이렇게 생각을 하시고 뭐 우리가 원하던 원치 않던 통일은 반드시 찾아올 것이다라고 이야기를 하시고 이 만약에 이 통일이 어떻게 진행이 될지에 대한 걸 도와야 한다라는 거죠. 잘 이게 부드럽게 통일이 잘 진행될 수 있도록 돕는 것이 우리의 역할이고 만약에 이렇게 잘 도와서 통일이 될 경우에 다음 한 50에서 75년간의 아시아에서 경제적으로 가장 강한 국가가 통일 한국이 아닐까 하는 그런 생각을 한다라고 이야기를 해 주셨습니다. Wow, you know what? I had a lot of interview with a lot of candidates, but you are the one who has the most understanding and knowledge and experience about Korea.
You have to, because part of representing the populace that is in your district has to be an understanding of what they're dealing with and tying them back to where they originate from. In this case, Koreans have brought a lot of positives to the American culture, being part of the fabric. I'm so glad that the Korean Americans have decided to really push hard to get Korean candidates to run in local elections. That is very important for us from the U.S. national security strategy perspective. And the reason for that is because, you know, when I came to United States, Assyrians are similar to Koreans culturally. Our parents told us that we want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, beautiful professions, and a teacher, very highly respected professions. But nobody told us go join the army or go work for the State Department. So what happened in 2014 when the Assyrian genocide began, where Assyrians started being persecuted by ISIS, United States government turned around and said, okay, we need your military personnel and we need your State Department people. And we didn't have anybody in the system. I was one of the individuals who had retired from the U.S. military with knowledge, background, where I had operated at a strategic level. We had plenty of doctors, we had plenty of teachers and engineers, but when they came to advise the U.S. in matter of national policy, they didn't do a good job. Why? Because they're doctors, lawyers, and teachers. They don't have the concept as much as they have studied Korea. They know the culture. They're tied to it. They still didn't understand the significance of how to take their knowledge, put it in the U.S. government systems, and allow those systems to support their desires. So it caused more friction points between the community at large, Assyrian community, and the government of the U.S. And what I'm trying to do, I want to be able to be that bridge because I've already understand how it's affected my community to be able to bring that in support of the Korean community in Illinois, in my district specifically, 9th Congressional District, to ensure that that same problems or friction points do not develop for the Korean people because I've already been in the system for 20 years. I know how it operates, and I can at least give them focus as to how they could get what they want, their desires, to be expressed as far as the U.S. systems are concerned.
So either you have to put the Korean American into the system or who somebody know about Korean America, you know, like a Korean system, then go into the system. That will be helpful.
Yes, you need to know the culture, you need to know how the Korean system works, and then you need to be able to know how the U.S. system works. And in that way, when you're giving guidance, it's much easier. And when you're trying to do something, it's less of an issue, less friction points. I call it. It alleviates some of the pressures. Look, I'll give you as an example. You know, the Korean Americans in my district right now face a lot of problems, and the same problems they face is similar to what the Assyrians face because culturally, again, we're very similar. You know, they have an aging population that is seeing families that are, because of the financial stressors that we have put them in the state, unable to maybe take care of them the way they would have traditionally taken care of them back home. At the same time, when you look across the gambit, you know, you may not have the facilities that are going to be able to take care of those aging populations. My dad himself currently is in a facility in the 9th Congressional District because of the medical issues he has. His frustration is nobody there speaks his language. So when he tries to communicate with them, it becomes an issue for him. And we're constantly involved in those facilities on a daily basis trying to alleviate those problems. The same thing is with the Korean community. If you don't have those facilities, you have an aging population, you're going to face those challenges. Another problem that really is going to enhance that problem for the Korean Americans here is the fact if you look at Korea right now, majority of the Korea service sector sits in the public sector. And what does that mean? That means that the tax base that Korea is making money off of is out of the public sector. So as that sector starts retiring, aging, now your tax drops. When your tax drops, your economy starts failing. And a lot of those individuals retiring in Korea in the past would come to the United States for medical support as they're in the twilight of their years, and the families here would take care of them. Well, that becomes a burden now because of the fact that we are changing maybe how our Medicaid and Medicare is applied, how those dollars are applied to support an aging population. Now you take an aging population out of Korea, bring them here, you have an aging Korean population here. Now you just strain the fabric of the families. That's where you have issues with what traditional family support of the elderly is than what the current population is. So it really starting to change the dynamics of the Korean culture itself here in the United States.
일단은 그 두 곳을 아는 것이 얼마나 중요한가 이거에 대해서 이제 이야기를 하셨어요. 그래서 이제 굉장히 중요하다라고 이야기를 해주셨고요. 이런 본인이 이제 그 출마하는 곳에 살고 있는 이제 어디에서 왔다라고 하는 거 있잖아요. 이제 그 민족들에 대한 이해가 정말 필요하다라고 하는 거죠. 그리고 이것이 그런 이해가 있을 때 이제 좀 그 민족들과 함께 협력하면서 긍정적인 영향을 가져올 수 있다라고 하는 건데요. 특별히 이번에 한인 후보자들이 많은 것도 정말 중요하다 이렇게 이야기를 합니다. 그래서 이 아시리안과 이 한인들이 문화적으로 굉장히 좀 비슷한 부분들이 많이 있다라고 이야기를 하셨어요. 그래서 사실 2014년에 이 아시리안 크리스찬들에 대한 학살이 ICC에 의해서 일어나고 막 여러 가지가 있었는데 문화적으로 비슷한 게 뭐냐면 많은 분들이 뭐 의사나 변호사나 교사나 무슨 이런 전문 직종 뭐 또 엔지니어 같은 전문 직종에 종사라는 이야기를 많이 하지만 뭐 군인이라든지 이런 정치 쪽이나 정부 쪽에 일하라고 이야기를 많이 하지 않으신다고 해요. 그래서 2014년에 이런 아시리안 학살이 일어났을 때 전문인이 많지 않았다고 합니다. 사실 뭐 의사나 변호사나 교사 이런 분들이 많이 계셔서 되게 똑똑하고 하긴 하지만 국가 정책에 대한 컨셉이 없기 때문에 여기에 대해서 도움을 받을 수가 없다고 하니까요. 이런 지식을 이 미국식 시스템에 적용할 수 있는 사람이 필요하다. 이런 일이 생겼을 때 여기에 대한 지식이 있고 그것을 가지고 미국과 그 지식을 연결할 수 있는 사람이 필요하다라고 하는 겁니다. 20년의 경험이 가져다 준 여러 가지가 있는데 여기서 보면은 이제 문화적으로 미국과 한국의 시스템을 이해할 수 있는 그런 이제 문화적인 어떤 그 백그라운드를 가지고 계시다고 이야기를 하셨고요. 예를 들자면 이제 이제 노인 문제에 대한 겁니다. 노인 문제 아시다시피 이 노인이 가정에 계속 늘어나면서 재정적인 문제 이런 것들을 가족들에게 가져오게 되는데 이 본인의 이제 부모님도 아버지도 이제 이 노인 시설에 가서 계신데 이 소통의 문제가 있다라는 거죠. 시설에서 그 나라 말을 할 수 있는 사람이 없기 때문에 이 언어적 소통의 문제 때문에 굉장히 힘들어하셨다고 해요. 그리고 또 뭐 이게 한국에 계신 뭐 분들을 미국에 초청했을 경우에 이제 그분들을 이제 어쨌거나 이분들이 다 이제 나이가 들면서 이제 발생할 수 있는 문제들인데 좀 가족들이 좀 잘 이런 연세에 있으신 분들을 케어하면서 지낼 수 있는 여러 가지 시스템에 대한 것도 이제 본인이 생각하고 계시다 이렇게 이야기를 해 주셨습니다. So, my question is, where is the 9th congregational district?
The 9th Congressional District is very large as far as the Korean Americans are concerned. You're looking at Skokie, you're looking at Niles, Wilmette, you're looking at some of the areas of Chicago that are along the Sheridan Road Lake area. There's parts of Arlington Heights that fall into it. You're looking at areas that are where New Trier Township is, Kenilworth. So the Korean demographics are pretty much all over that area, to include Lincolnwood, but all those fall within our perspective. I think with the support of the Korean Americans, if they vote for me, if they choose to vote for me for the primary, which is coming up 20 March, you'll be able to get an individual that can at least be a good voice for you throughout the entire campaign in the general election going up to November when there's a selection. And if I do get selected and I do go to Congress, you'll have an individual that is going to be very friendly because that individual already understands your culture, understands your strategic needs, understands the issues that you're going to be dealing with, comes from a community that's already learned the lessons. So you're not starting from base one trying to educate someone. And you'll have somebody who's already been there starting from 20 years ago when the first assignment that I had was in Korea,
Right.
serving to defend the Korean people on their peninsula.
저 이제 지역이 나인트 컨그레셔널 디스트릭이라고 말씀해 주셨는데 그게 어딘지 제가 좀 궁금해졌어요. 그래서 여쭤봤는데 한국 분들이 굉장히 많이 사시는 곳이네요. 스코키, 나일스, 그다음 윌맷, 그다음에 시카고 중에서 이제 쉐리단 이 레이크 쪽으로 그러니까 이 호수가 있는 쪽에 이제 쉐리단 길하고 알링턴 하이트 일부하고 뉴트리아 타운십, 또 링컨 로드를 포함한 뉴트리아 타운십들 이곳이 이제 지금 말씀하셨던 이제 연방 구지구라고 합니다. 여기에 사시는 분들이 만약에 본인을 위해서 이 3월 20일에 투표를 해주신다면 아무래도 이제 그 한인들을 이해하고 한인들에게 친근한 쉽게 얘기한 친한파 의원이 이제 구지구에서 탄생을 할 수 있게 된다라고 하는 거니까요. 좀 많은 지지와 응원을 부탁을 하셨습니다. So, I mean, time goes really flying. So I've enjoyed the interview with you because, I have never imagined that I can get a lot of like ideas and thoughts, about Korea from, whoever, out of the country actually. So you are really have like a lot of knowledge and I hope you have like a great success on your, the election. So I hope I can, invite you after primary as the, Republican candidate for the, 9th District U.S. Congress. So I'm really hoping that. And do you need anything else from us?
Yeah, what we need is we need the Korean community to vote in the Republican primary, and if they vote, that gives them an opportunity for me to be able to represent them in Congress. And at the same time, I do want them to go out there and vote for the 3 Korean candidates that are running in the Republican primary. It is very significant. Whether I make it or not, through the primary process, you got to make sure that you at least get your Korean candidates through. Although they're at the state level, what it does, it gives you a voice in the government. If you don't have a face or a voice for the Korean people, you're going to be banging your head against the wall constantly, and you're not going to get anywhere. So get out and vote for Sargis Singeri, as we call it, Vote Singeri. Is our motto. Go ahead and out and vote for us. If you want to help us with the process, please don't hesitate to contact us directly. And we do look for volunteers that can help us also. And you have the brochure, the address there. They can contact us, or they could call the number down there if they have any other questions. 773-385. I'm sorry, 383-9600. So 773-383-9600 if they want to help with volunteering. And at the same time, the biggest thing I encourage them to do for the Korean community, register and vote. Because if you register and vote, then you're going to be listened to. Even if you are a Korean who might be a Democrat, not a Republican, if you vote in the Republican primary, and you're allowed to do that, you'll at least be putting some pressure on the current incumbent to ensure that that individual listens to you when the general election comes. So that's another way you could show your capabilities, going in there and voting as a bloc and saying, look, we're not happy where we are currently. We want to see a change, and it actually forces incumbents to actually do more during the general election.
근데 마지막으로 좀 하실 말씀 있냐고 말씀을 드렸는데요. 일단은 투표를 많이 참여해달라고 말씀을 주셨습니다. 일단은 이 공화당 위원들을 위해서 좀 투표해 주시고, 특별히 한인들 3명이 현재 공화당 후보로 출마를 했는데, 본인이 투표가 선출이 되든 안 되든, 이 스테이트 레벨에서 한인들의 목소리가 필요하다, 한인들을 대변하는 목소리가 필요하다, 이렇게 말씀해 주셨고요. 이 한인의 얼굴과 한인의 목소리를 가진 사람이 이런 쪽에 있어야지만, 이 한인들이 좀 더 효과적으로 한인들의 목소리가 전달될 수 있게 된다라고 말씀해 주셨습니다.
다른 말로 하자면은 또 한인들에게 친근한 의원을 또 선출할 수도 있겠는데, 이제 그런 쪽에서 오늘 나오셨을 때 우리 쌍가리 씨께서 굉장히 한인들을 위한 이해를 가지고 친근하게 다가오고 계시니까, 혹시 보시거든, 쌀기스 쌍가리 씨, 연방 구지구 의원으로 좀 선출해 주시고 도와주시면 좋겠다라는 거고요. 혹시 자원봉사나 혹은 이런 거 원하시면은 773-383-9600번을 연락하시면 또 자원봉사 하실 수도 있겠고요. 꼭 이 유권자 등록하시고 투표에 참여를 해주시기를 바란다는 겁니다. 이렇게 되면 여러분들의 목소리가 들리게 되니까 반드시 투표에 참여해 주십시오. 다시 한번 부탁을 드렸습니다. 네, 오늘 굿모닝 시카고 초대석 이 시간에는 연방구지구 하원의원 공화당 후보로 출마하신 쌀기스 쌍가리 씨께서 함께 하셨습니다. 여러분들 혹시라도 투표장 가셔서 한국 친한파 의원이 좀 이제 더 많이 등용이 됐으면 좋겠다 하시면 공화당 발렛에서 쌀기스 쌍가리 SARGIS 레스네임이 SANGARI로 보시면 투표해 주시면 또 저희 그 친한파 의원이 탄생할 수도 있을 것 같습니다. 자, 오늘 바쁘신 대로 나와주신 우리 쌀기스 쌍가리 씨께 감사드립니다. Thank you for coming.
감사합니다. Thank